It was a Monday night. It was going to be a normal night recording the podcast, and the door suddenly opens out of nowhere. This funny-looking fella by the name of Brenton walks in. Wet coat, long cigar. It's not his. Probably got it from a gutter. He steps into the corridor and he looks at me. He opens his sloppy jaw and he says,
"Hey, baby."
"What did you call me?"
Now dig on this.
Hey!
Whoa!
Welcome to Classic Movie Banter. You know that podcast where me, that guy Brenton, and that other guy at the end of the table, Nathan.
Whoa.
We talk about films that are 20 years or older. 20 years! And we tell you if they're still worth watching today, or whether they're worth making an insane murder plot, putting them on a train, and then throwing them off the back of that said train.
But it's a DVD instead of a person, obviously.
That's exactly right. And the disc is broken all over the tracks.
Oh,
what
no,
happened
what
to
a
it?
crime scene, Brenton. That poor DVD, whatever did it do, Brenton?
It knows what it did. Okay.
Oh, no. Too many ads before the film. I never got around that as a kid. I hated that. You know, like you'd like put in a DVD and you just want to watch a movie, but you'd have to like fast forward all the ads in the DVD.
Yeah, but I liked those because I think it added suspense. You know, it got you excited that you were about to watch the movie.
Bro. We'll talk about suspense soon, but to tell you what, ads before a movie.
But it's true. It's like as a kid, you're like, here we go. You know, like there's the ads, like as you would when you went to the cinema. I like them.
Oh, do you do this in the cinema nowadays? You're like, oh boy, here are the ads.
I get fucking pissed off now because there's like literally like one trailer for a film and then the rest is like, come to us at ANZ Bank. Come to us at fucking, I don't know, come get a lollipop from Allen's. Like, it's just like, kill me now.
I would love to see a movie and it's like a lollipop ad. It's just you in like a corridor just being like, oi, get a lollipop from Allen's. And it just hard cuts to the film. You're like, wow. Like, it's funny. I think I only see Telstra ads these days in cinemas.
Yeah, it's so true. It's such horseshit.
Oh, they're all terrible. I used to love it when I went to like some like indie cinema and you see like a really shitty local ad amongst like all these professional ads.
Yeah, local chemists. That's that's where it's at like the local movie theater.
I swear there was like a tire company or like a car company that used to like, it's like, come down to like Gold Coast Timor. And it'd always be some of my guys like,
yeah, man.
I'm the owner of this car store. And he'd be
There's
like,
also,
buy a car.
There was also like a fishing store one. Like,
oh yeah, BCF always used to do it.
Do you need some bait? Well, come on down. We'll get you sorted.
And you'd be sitting in a cinema and you'd be like, I'm watching a fucking movie. What do I need bait for?
It's like I'm about to watch fucking James Cameron's Avatar. Can you fuck off? Like,
oh, I love it. God, may they rest in peace. Oh.
Nathan, but we're not here to fish today. We're here to talk about Double Indemnity for episode 102, released in 1944. Jeez, that was a long time ago. Directed by Billy Wilder. Who also directed such hits as Sunset Boulevard and Some Like It Hot. And he's also known for his immense filmography, not only as a director, but as a screenwriter as well.
Oh, he's a writer and director. What a double threat, Brenton. A double threat.
Oh,
Does he
mate.
double indem, Brenton?
Oh, well, I'll tell you.
Oh, why don't you just pitch me that movie, Brenton? Can you pitch me the movie?
I'm going to pitch you Double Indemnity. Nathan, do you know what Double Indemnity means?
I have no fucking clue, mate. I didn't know going in. I had to Google it after the movie because I still kind of didn't even know. But what's a double indemnity, Brenton? Can you bake it? Can you eat it?
Basically, I'm going to point out the plot now. So our lead character is an insurance salesman.
Wow,
Ew,
riveting.
How boring.
Boo.
But no.
Boo insurance.
But Nathan, he rocks up on a house call to check up on some loser who hasn't paid his next insurance
some fucking
plan.
Moron. Oh.
And so he goes to, but he runs into his wife, who he thinks is a tasty snack, and wants to get it on with for some reason.
Of course. That's what every insurance salesman's out there for, just to steal wives. We've all seen Death of a Salesman.
She innocently asks him, and innocently in italic marks, in quotation marks, I should say. What do you cover other sorts of insurance, such as like accident insurance, say if my husband fucking died? And he's kind of like, oh, I think you want to murder your husband. And he's like, but that could work for me because I want some of that tasty snack. This
is verbatim what the conversation is in the movie.
So yeah, literally. So he realizes that he knows all the clues as an insurance salesman about how to get around this, and he devises a plan to murder her husband with her. It's a team effort.
At the end of the day, it's like, good team effort, everyone. We all pitched in. Like-
So in the insurance, she will get the double indemnity clause, which is basically when an accidental death happens, you get paid double the amount. And that is
there
double
you
indemnity.
go. Which, by the way, is still a law today. That's still a
Yeah.
thing.
Will they get away with it, or will they be found out by the powers that be? And by powers that be, I mean the head of the insurance company, and and that person's boss. And
no.
maybe she has a stepdaughter, and maybe that stepdaughter's with some other guy called Nino, and they're all
Stupid
wrapped
name.
into it together. And yeah, that's the movie. That's all I got to say about that.
Brenton, what a pitch. You've really thrown it across the baseball court.
It was a terrible pitch, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was entertaining. Nathan, what do you think of Double Indemnity?
Mate, it's funny, like, so starting it, I actually wasn't a fan. Starting it, like, for the first, like, third, I was like, this is kind of cliche 40s kind of shit. But then, Brenton, the main plot kicks in, where, like, where that conversation happens, and you're like, whoa, what 2020 language for a 1944 film? And then after that, Brenton, the film soars. And you know what? This is excellent. I think this is a great movie. What about you?
So, Nathan, I have similar sentiments I'd like to give. So I went into this, I was like not in the mood to watch this shit. I was like going,
because it's
me.
really stereotypical at the start as well. Like,
Oh God, I was just like, here we go, here we go.
bloody go.
But Nathan, this movie got me good. It got me real good.
It got you really good. And you know what? It does it for a couple reasons, I think. I think because the story gets better as it goes. Because it goes from like, oh, here's a guy who's like trying to just snag a wife. 1940s, am I right? But like it kind of escalates beyond that, and you realize like there are secrets and twists and turns, and like narratively, it's really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think it takes. I think it's a really interesting plot for a thriller. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. It's not something that's a bit more, I guess, generic. It's about an insurance salesman. You know, it's about some dude and some girl.
But it's because it starts off boring, and you think the film's going to be insurance in the same way that Chinatown was going to be about water, but you realize there's so much more to it.
Well, the thing for me was, at first I was like, I thought this screenplay was a bit shit at first, because I was like, I think the style, I thought that sometimes the style and the genre and the acting of the time was like getting in the way of like the screenplay, which was really wordy and really kind of
like the prose of it stands out. It's like they all talk in metaphors and similes and all that kind of shit. Like,
but then suddenly, like as the plot kicks in, as we get into the juicy goodness, that kind of all falls away, and we're left with these characters and these characters interacting.
Yeah, I think it's more of Stockholm. You just get used to that shit.
Yeah,
like.
exactly. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I think on a technical point of view, I think the shot composition and the lighting, because obviously this is in black and white, are chef's kiss.
Oh, big chef's kiss. And it's funny because going into this, I didn't know it was going to be film noir. I knew literally nothing about it.
Oh yeah, it's the most film noir.
Oh my god, it's the film noir.
Yeah, if you know,
it's credited to like inventing it. I think this is the pioneering film that.
Yeah, I think so as well, from my knowledge. But also like, it has all the staples of a film noir plot.
And because it invented it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you know it's film noir going in, I think like you will have some idea of like who these characters are and their stereotypes. But the fact that it invented it, and the fact that like they are characters, they're not just generic stereotypes, is deserves to be lauded. So
these are 3-dimensional characters, and I was surprised at that, because once you know it's film noir, you go, oh, okay, you can kind of guess where this is going. But there was still lots of surprises in here. And it's funny because even though you see it's like film noir, like the Venetian blinds, and like the guy who's got a smoking issue and all that kind of shit. Like,
and the femme fatale who's like fucking fucked. Like, you know what I mean? That's just fucked. Like, he's like the devil. Like,
but there's revelation in that, and I think a lot of that actually comes down to the performances as well.
I agree.
I think Barbara Stanwyck as the lead woman, I think she was. I didn't like her at first, but then I'm like, no, you're fucking incredible.
I think she's a fantastic actress, and she gives a incredible performance in this film. Absolutely. I had that down in my notes as well, that the performance of the film belongs to her.
You just wrote her name with a little love heart around it. You're like...
No, I wrote that about someone else, but we'll get to that later.
Oh. So she's excellent. She's really, really good. What do you think about the main guy?
I like the main guy. I think he's good. I think he's subtle. I liked him. From the start, I liked him. I thought I was very attached to him from the start. I was like, I like this guy. I think he's a good character, and I like his acting. It's very understated. Thank goodness, because it could have gone the other way.
It could have gone the other way. Do you think it's a little bit rapid though? Do you think like the dialogue's like that repartee? It's like, well, you think about this, honey? Well, I think about that. Well, you don't really think about that. Yes, no, what, huh? Like the back and forth. It's a little bit.
Sure, but you could say that about other characters. I don't think he's the worst culprit for that.
But it's like, you remind me of a Venetian blind. It's like he'll just like throw a metaphor at it, and like there'll be no time to breathe or compute what he said.
Their first scene together, it's like they'll say something, and it's like the equivalent of this scene in the dialogue in it is basically like, no, you're cute. No, you're cute. No, you're cute.
Yeah.
No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. All right, I'll go. No, I'll go. No, I'll go. No, I'll go. Close the door, would you? No, you close the door. I think I'd rather you close the door. But if I close the door, I think really you should close the door. All right, I'm going to close it.
Just that.
No, don't. I'll close it.
What a scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. It goes that rapidly, and then like it'll end, and you'll be like, oh shit, wait, what was going on? And because also a lot of plot is told in the dialogue, you're like, wait, what? And you'll be like, oh, I found that sometimes a little bit quick, which is weird for a 40s film. I was like,
I know.
Oh, okay.
I know. I had to like keep up with it, but I kind of like that at the same time because again, the alternative would fucking suck.
It would suck. I do. How did you find and speaking of that, then how did you find the pacing?
Pacing's pretty good. I think going into the third act, that could have been sped up a bit. Like, you know, we know where we're heading. Like, let's get into that third act, you know? I just want to get there. I don't want to fuck around anymore. You know what I'm saying, Nathan? Mate, I'm so casual with my language in this episode today, mate. I'm so like, let's just fucking get there. You know what I mean, Nathan? Like, let's just get there.
For sure, bruh. I hear your chats.
Pacing's pretty good. Pacing's pretty good in the first 2/3, but like the last third, I just want it to like fucking get to the point. You know what I mean, Nathan? That's what I just want.
I think you know what it is? I think it's the long hair you've got, Brenton. I think it's going to like slowly morph into a surface haircut where you just become more and more chill.
Guys, I actually have dreadlocks. You can't see them.
Are you Don Cheadle from Boogie Nights?
Hey.
Hopefully. One thing I was worried about going into this film is if the 1940s style would be a barrier to it, especially with like, because it's very 1940s in every sense of it, but especially when it comes to the narration, because normally in films I kind of hate it when you have the main character narrating over shit. Birds of Prey is guilty of this, where they narrate stuff we can clearly see, because like the guy will be like, I walked up to a fishbowl, and we see him walk up to a fishbowl. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, yeah. Do you think this film ever really... Like, I guess it does do it at some points, but I felt like those points where it does do... Because it doesn't do it the whole way through it. But at those points it does do it, I think it adds suspense because the stakes in those moments are very high, if you know what I'm saying. I can talk about that more in spoilers. But the moments it does do that, I think are heightened moments that maybe require that or benefit from that. Because it makes you as the audience go, oh, fuck, he's doing it. He's going to the fishbowl. You know what I mean?
Man, what a tense scene. But it's funny because I agree. Like the tension, like, sure, I guess that adds tension in some scenes, but in others, they're better because they haven't got it. And I feel like maybe if the narration had been pulled back, because I'm really debating if I liked that we know at the very start of the film how it ends. Because I don't know if the film needed it. Like, do you wish you didn't know?
Nathan, I don't mind. I'm happy. I'm a happy
Here's
guy.
Chill Brenton once more, just
I'm happy.
flicking his dreadlocks.
You know me. I don't give a fuck about spoilers. You know what I'm saying?
No, you really
like,
don't.
I don't give a shit. You know, I like that. You know, at the start, I was like, how are we gonna get to that point? This is gonna be interesting. And then by the end of the film, I knew how we got to that point, and I was very satisfied.
I was actually very satisfied too.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, you know what surprised me with this movie then was you know what? I'm really upset we're doing this now in like May. Like, because I wish, Brenton, we had done this episode for Wuthering Heights, like for Valentine's Day, because I feel like this is a dramatically better romantic movie than Wuthering Heights.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
So much. How did you find the romance between like the insurance salesman?
Oh, I liked that relationship, and I think it was a good. They had good chemistry. I think it really worked. Don't get me wrong. I like these two characters, but you know, for a romantic flick to see something, I think this is a very dark film. You know what I mean? With a great climax.
Wuthering Heights isn't.
Hey, mate. At least Wuthering Heights has some more romantic gestures in it, as opposed to this.
Let's murder together. Let's Bonnie and Clyde this shit.
it's that's what I mean. It's not necessarily a romantic gesture, and it's kind of these two people and their downfall, and they're not really falling together in a way. You know what I mean? Like they come together, and I don't really want to spoil it, but you know, like there's obviously conflict there that is kind of resolved, but it's also falls apart at a certain point, as opposed to something like Wuthering Heights when like the final moments, even though like you could argue it's pretty moronic.
Yeah. It's very dumb.
You could argue that, but at the same time, it's more romantic thematically than this, which is a bit more real.
I guess that is a strength of the film and the relationship. It is more entrenched in realism.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm putting down, Nathan? Do you get what I'm putting down?
I see what you're putting down on the table, and I think we're gonna have some of that actually. Like,
oh, good.
Over.
Yeah,
but
it's
like,
actually butter chicken. Just have some of that.
Indian, how exotic.
Do you have some naan?
Oh, mate. Why didn't you bring Indian tonight, Brenton? No, I'm just keen for Indian.
Do you like garlic naan or plain naan or cheesy garlic naan?
Oh, garlic, just plain garlic, obviously.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the cheese is too much.
Nah, you don't need it. It's like who did that? That wasn't the Indians that did that. Clearly, there was some American who's like, you know what this needs, honey? This needs cheese.
Yeah.
It's like, no, clearly not. Tell you what though, Indian food aside, I think this film, and this is the biggest compliment I can give it, I think it has echoes of Parasite.
Echoes of Parasite, you say?
Yeah. What was that, good sir? What was the word? Was it Parasite? Well, yeah, I think it does. In so far as you see this kind of infiltration of this money, this wealth and what they'll do to get the wealth, and like, you know what I mean? I think there's a class element you could almost read into this movie, Brenton.
Sure. Well, you know that Bong Joon-ho is a big fan of Hitchcock and was obviously influenced a lot by Hitchcock with Parasite and his work. Do you know that Hitchcock was a big fan of Billy Wilder?
Oh, really? Oh.
So
we're going to the father's father here.
So it's the circle of life, if you know what I'm saying.
But who was Billy Wilder a fan of, Brenton?
I'm not sure.
Jesus, probably.
Nah, Suganya, Babadi Shibaba. Sorry. My point was it's the circle of life. You know what I mean?
It is the circle
like
of life.
we're all influenced by someone, and across history, things repeat themselves, but that's okay.
Brenton's like had all these posters in his room of just like previous Brentons. He's like, I want to be like that Brenton.
Pretty much. I basically run my life based on Matthew McConaughey's Oscar speech.
You just rewatch that every day just to get a little bit of inspiration.
Pretty much.
What does he say? He says some dumb shit. Just like he's like, oh, my papa up there. Like, he told me you just gotta say all right. Like, he's like, I love Jesus. I remember him saying that. He's like, I act because we're gonna die one day, so I may as well act. Like, I forget what he says.
No, he says it's basically Matthew McConaughey in his speech is like, I like to thank God, I'd like to thank my family, and I'd like to thank myself, 10 years from now, because that's who I'm trying to be better than. So, he's literally probably got posters of Matthew McConaughey, or the version of Matthew McConaughey in 10 years that he wants to be, hanging around the place. Like, I reckon 10 years ago, he had a picture of Matthew McConaughey with, like, the wild turkey bourbon, like, in his hand. And he was like, that's what I want to do. And then he did it. So
I reckon when he did that speech, he was just reprising the role of the arsehole from Ghost of Girlfriends Past.
Probably. Do you reckon this movie would be better with Matthew McConaughey in it?
Yeah, let's replace the main actor. I think it would be great.
Who would he play?
As in not the insurance salesman?
Yeah. What? Maybe he doesn't play the insurance salesman.
He could be the boyfriend of the daughter.
Ooh, he's Nino. Matthew McConaughey is Nino.
Like he gives the girlfriend the lift, like the insurance. Like she gets out of the car and he's like, well, how you going there? And he's like,
what if he was the not Keys, the kind of boss of the main dude.
Oh,
but
yeah. The suicide guy?
No, I mean the chairman. Like the big boss.
The guy's like, it was suicide. And she's like, how dare you? Like that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Could you imagine McConaughey just take... I feel like he's...
Oh, no, he would do the same job from Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, but I feel like he's maybe too laxed for that. Maybe, for that role.
Because the other guy's really passionate when he comes up with the idea. Like,
yeah.
Like he's really happy about it. But I think Matthew McConaughey would just be like, And he's like, you know what the secret is to getting insurance? It's
cocaine. Yeah.
And like the widow's just sitting in the office. She's like, what? And he's just going on about this speech.
Or maybe he is the widow. I don't know.
Just in the fucking veil. It just pulls up. No, it's a cast change like halfway through the movie. It just segues from bloody like Barbara Stanwyck to Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down with
that too, Brenton.
Let's call Fox. Let's make it happen.
Oh.
Nathan, let's rate this.
You're fond of me lobster, ain't you?
Let's rate. We've derailed this. I'm pointing fingers at you, Brenton.
Yeah, it's all me today. Sorry.
We've derailed this
guys.
interview.
So I'm actually not sorry because it's been very entertaining. So thank you.
So this is what it feels like.
Nathan, what are you gonna give it? Are you gonna give it a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or the in between?
Oh, I didn't even know there was an in between.
We don't do that on this show.
I didn't know we were Academy Award winner Joaquin Phoenix just then. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, we are. So, what are you gonna give it?
Well, I can't just give it a thumb. Obviously, the listeners can't see that yet. But I think for this movie, I don't know, because it's been parodied a lot. Like there have been latter works that have done this kind of thing too. But I think it holds up. I honestly, I think it's I think it's like the film noir you got to watch.
Yeah.
You know what? This is what I wish Chinatown was when we saw Chinatown.
Oh, fuck off! Chinatown's good, mate. Like,
I
come
know
on,
it's good.
Come on, settle down.
I know I'm like one of like the 4 humans alive that doesn't like love Chinatown.
Chinatown doesn't have to be Double Indemnity, and Double Indemnity doesn't have to be Chinatown. And that's all I have to say about that. But together, I'm just imagining, like, you know, the Power Rangers, how they have that giant robot where they form all their little dinosaurs together and make like I've never watched Power Rangers in my life. I just know that thing exists.
You know,
it's
that's
like,
the thing that happens.
We should one day like do 7 seasons where we make like a Power Rangers robot. with films that we think would make like good like elements of said robot.
So the cast of Double Indemnity with the cast of Chinatown, like Jack Nicholson's just chatting to Barbara Stanwyck going, "Who are you murdering?"
Not necessarily the cast, but like the films themselves. So like we'll add a bit of Double Indemnity, we'll add some Chinatown. You know, who knows? Maybe
sprinkle in some Basic Instinct, just all the film noirs.
Maybe some Babe 2, Pig in the City. You know, who knows?
Jeez.
I feel like that's going to be a 7 seasons that will happen one day, and it will be ridiculous. And we will have a couple of whiskeys before we start it, and it'll be a fun time.
We'd need more than just whiskey for that episode, mate.
What do the Power Rangers say? Do they like Power Rangers Ignite or Power
I've never seen a Power Ranger thing in my life. Like, I remember that film came out a couple years ago, and I remember the only criticism I remember reading about that film was that it had lots of Krispy Kreme sponsorship.
Oh my goodness! Of course, Krispy Kreme sponsored that shit.
Like, is that an of course kind of thing? Like, I didn't think those two brands were that congruous,
mate. Okay, so Power Rangers look like they're made of plastic, and so do Krispy Kremes.
Jesus, that's not slander. That's libel.
Obviously, Krispy Kremes are not sponsoring Classic Movie Banter.
And oh no, Brenton, that's the booking I have to cancel now.
Hilarious. Well, Nathan, going to my rating now.
Yeah. Oh wait, did I even give mine?
Yeah, you gave it a thumbs up.
Oh, I did. Okay, thank you.
Well, or you were going to, because you said that I think it still holds up.
Oh, well, it does still hold up. So yeah, give it a watch. Also,
Like
watch it for Valentine's Day. It's good for couples.
No, it's not. Like,
yes, it is. Like, it's a romantic movie.
I could tell you another film that's good for Valentine's Day, but I've talked about that film already too much, and we still haven't reviewed When Harry Met Sally, but that's okay.
I thought you were going to go Spider-Man 3, because that's what we really agreed the Valentine's film was.
Oh my god, yeah, the real romantic relationship between Topher Grace and the fucking symbiote. Nathan,
Are you excited for Venom 2? You must be.
I haven't seen Venom 1, so I can't comment.
Have you not seen Venom? What are you doing?
I haven't seen it. I know that there's a scene where Tom Hardy goes nuts and eats raw lobster, but
it's amazing. That's not even the best thing about that scene, Brenton. What are you doing not watching? Go bloody see Venom.
Nathan, okay, I'll watch it with you sometime. But before we do that, I'm gonna give this a thumbs up. I think it is worth a watch. I think if you can get through the first 10 minutes of this film, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You know what I mean?
You're going to go all right, yeah.
Yeah, you're
and
also,
also,
go right.
like, narratively, expect it to get better. Because it's a little bit kind of by the numbers at the start, so you got to.
I mean, what more can you ask for? You want something that's just going to get better and better. So, yeah, Nathan, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right, let's spoil this thing. You spoiled it.
What?
The movie.
Oh, Nathan, I actually don't have many spoiler notes, to be honest.
Well, luckily I do.
So, good on you.
I mean, like
I've got some, but they're all kind of over the place. I just wanted to say that the overall boss is in like the guy I suggested Matthew McConaughey to play. You know that guy, the suicide guy.
Jesus.
There's two things.
That guy, I love him because he's in like the one scene as well, and he fucking nails it.
No, he doesn't. He's overall the worst actor in this whole film. Like he's so bad. He is so bad. I don't even know what accent he's doing. It's like it is atrocious.
Oh yeah, the accent's atrocious.
I don't know what is going on. But what the other thing that's hilarious about that scene? It's like take a shot every time they say suicide.
Oh my god!
The way they say suicide.
Also, he doesn't tell them the plan before he launches into it as well.
I know. But the way they say suicide, he says it with like it's like kind of like a lispy kind of suicide. Like it's.
and you're not exaggerating it. Like there is
suicide. It's like,
but that's
what?
why I loved him. Like because everyone's so serious in this movie, and you got this fucker who, for some reason, is head of the insurance company. He's like, oh yeah, nah, this is good. It's a suicide. Like
It's just suicide. How funny was that scene though? Like in all seriousness, like you said, he doesn't tell him the plan. He comes in, he brings this widow in, presumably like the day after that her husband has just died.
Like she's clearly mourning.
He doesn't know the details that she actually wanted to kill him. Whatever. But the point is that she brings her into her office and he says, well, you know what I think? I think your husband committed suicide. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Even if that is what you're going to...
allegation. Also baseless, by the way. He has no evidence for it. And like, and also, like, he says this to her, and she's clearly upset by it. She's like, what? No, of course he didn't. But he's not picking up the signs, and he just keeps continuing and digging the hole further.
I know. It's great.
Oh.
And then she leaves, and then like Keys, the what would you call him? The head of the department. He's like, well, you surely fucked that one up, boss. and Matthew McConaughey is all like, yeah, I guess I did. And then that's the end of this.
Yeah, and then we never see him again. And that's the whole thing. And I love it. It's just so illogical. And it's funny because in a movie that's so narratively like methodical and it's like, no, we got to do this, here's all the steps. It's just funny to see something like that like thrown in there.
For sure.
But do you want to know what my favorite silly moment of this movie was?
What?
There's a scene. It's near the start actually, where like where insurance guy is like he's like, oh, I had to think about, you know, the plot.
Oh
like,
my gosh, I know exactly what you're going to bring up.
You are.
So Nathan, when you're contemplating murdering someone, by the way.
Yes. Do you know where I go, Brenton?
You know what? I have some beers and I go bowling. That's what I do.
It's not great. It's so stupid.
So, but like, not only that, but it's the fact that he goes to like this drive-in. And like he's serving his beer on like the little tray or whatever, like those old trays that they used to have before McDonald's before Michael Keating and the founder had the idea to get rid of those. And he gets given his beer and he's just having little casual sips in his car, and then he just goes to a shot of him by himself at some bowling alley.
Yeah, he's by himself. There's clearly people on other lanes with like friends and family, and it's funny because it's when the narration is going over. He's like, I had to think about the dame and what the opposite, like the proposition she was giving me, and it's like moody music, but it's him just kind of jollyly, just kind of like throwing a ball down a lane. Like
it's dead serious. The stakes couldn't be higher. It's life and death. It's murder. You know what I mean? Like it's so funny.
Oh.
No, literally, my note here says beers and bowling. Lol.
It's like, wow, next time I have to make a hard life decision, just beers and bowling, Brenton. Obviously, that's the bloody killer combo of this film. So, Brenton, did you have a drink every time he said the word baby in this film?
Oh my goodness. That's why I brought it up in the opening gag of this show, dude.
Oh my god.
Hey, baby. Hey,
it's
baby.
also weird because like he talks like he says it to her like it's like the third sentence. Like, he barely knows this woman. He's like, what do you think, baby?
Like Elvis isn't even a thing at this point in history. Like, I guess he is. He's alive. But
yeah, but it's not the 50s yet, so.
But he's saying it like a dead impression of Elvis. He's like, hey, baby. What's going on, baby? And you're like...
I mean, she's buying it. I mean, we find out later on that she's playing him, but, like, she buys it. And then, like... But he says at the most weirdest moments with her. I remember, like, when they first kiss, and it's like, oh, finally they're making out. Fuck yeah. It's still shit, like, 1940s kissing. He's still grabbing her by the shoulders. But then, like, he pulls her apart, and it's this romantic moment. He's like, what perfume are you wearing, baby? What a weird thing to ask after you've kissed. And also, why call her baby?
Nathan, can I ask you, when you're out on a date with a girl.
Oh yeah.
And things are going well, and you think you're gonna lean in for the old kiss. Do you like to lean in and like grab their faces and just like kind of rub your lips against their like face? Like
Mate, you know works every time.
Is like I haven't tried this, but I'm considering it because it looks like really romantic. Can you speak from experience? wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I just went into her and I said, "What perfume are you wearing?" And before she could even answer, I just made out like with her upper lip. Like that's all you need to do.
When you went to your dinner reservation, did you rock up and say, "Oh hey, baby"?
Yeah, I did. Then I got slapped in the face because it's 2020.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't know.
I beg your pardon. Watch out, Brenton. Do you think the characters in this film are moronic?
No. Keys is pretty smart. Keys is pretty smart because he like puts two and two together. He's like, I've been thinking about this shit, and I think
I got this little guy in here. I call him Joe. Like, fuck off.
I think she was murdered, and I think there was an accomplice, and he kind of puts two and two together, but he sticks up for his old mate, you know, so good on him. Nathan, can we talk about the stepdaughter for 2 seconds?
She's pretty hot, isn't she?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I thought she was also in the running for the worst actor in the movie. But
what? I mean, you're right, but she's so hot, Brenton.
in her first scene, she kind of sucked, but she got better as it went on. I was like, more believable. But, oh my goodness, she was like so stunning. I was like, whoa, I was so taken aback. I was like, wow.
You know why? It's because she's exactly our age. I looked it up.
Wow.
For research purposes.
But also, I researched it as well, Nathan.
Oh.
What a sad life this person had. Like, this is what I wanted to bring up.
Oh, yeah, go for it, man.
The reason I brought up the fact she was stunning wasn't because I wanted to let our lovely listeners know to begin with. But also because I was like, how has this person not had more work? Like, how do I not know this actress? Like, she's someone that like would have like taken off, and you know, and she probably would have taken off if she hadn't have had a car accident in which she was flown headfirst through the windscreen and scraped her whole face on like the pavement.
Yeah,
and had to have major facial surgery to like put her face back together. And I was like, holy fuck, which basically ended her acting career. I was like, oh my god, that's horrible. Furthermore, she died at like such a young age of something that I don't know, but her husband had like died of some virus like a couple years before her as well.
Geez.
But Nathan, if you want romantic, they were both cremated and scattered in the Pacific Ocean. So there you go. So that was the life of that actor.
Jeez, wow, horrible. Like, that's so heartbreaking.
Isn't that awful?
That's so awful. I mean, she did great work in this film. Like, despite the fact you didn't like her acting that much, Brenton.
Oh, no, I thought she was bad in the first scene. I was like, oh, she kind of sucks. She's the worst actor in it. She's only been put in it because she looks
But they give her a subplot and everything.
And yeah, and then her subplot started and I was like, oh my gosh, she's really good. Oh my god, why?
I love that scene.
How do I not know this person? And why isn't she like, you know, like had a massive film career? And then I was like, oh, that's right.
Right. Tragic accident and dead.
Yeah, right. So just filling you guys in.
I love that scene where she's trying to get out of the car and there's like a good 5 minute like what are you driving her for? And he's like, why'd you get out of the car? And he's like, what are you driving her for? And it's just back and forth between them. And you can clearly see these are two men and they're trying to find an excuse just to get into a fight. Like,
great dialogue. Great dialogue.
I love it so much. Brenton, the reason I brought up earlier that I think these characters are dumb is because they're executing their plan. You think at first it's a great plan, but then they're walking on the bloody platform of the train station, like announcing their whole plan within earshot of everyone else.
yeah, they did.
Like, what are you doing? It's like, like if you did this today, say that the movie was set in like 2020, there's no way this shit would fly.
Well, there's no way it'd fly to begin with because we have such thing as DNA. And fingerprints, and you know what I mean. Like, there's so much stuff that like just would and CCTV. You know what I mean. Like, I was just thinking, if those.
Oh my god, when he didn't recognize the face, and then it's like, come on, mate, like you would have recognized that face.
What a moment as well when he kind of like this kind of young guy like gets on this train and then like just kind of like casually jumps off the back.
Yeah. It's like, even if he's even as a healthy man, that shit would still hurt a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. But what's interesting is that the police are like, oh yeah, he broke his neck. Yeah, that's what happened. All good. They're like, they say the police are fine with it. And it's like, the police are fine with it?
like, are they? It's like, he has no prior history of mental health, like, issues, like...
It just sounds like the LA, because this is set in LA, the LA police department is doing a really shit job, and it's up to, like, the insurance companies to, like, sort the shit out.
Why
it's
is
so
it up
funny.
to the insurance? Because they're the ones who have to pay the bill at the end of the day, like, with the literal double indemnity. So they're like, oh... That's what it is weird that it's like comes down to the insurance guys to do the police work. It's like, if you went to court, which they keep on threatening, like if it went to court, they'd be like, well, no, the coroner and the police both say it was fine. So like they'd win in court.
Nathan, do you think that the dude on the back of the train is a good egg?
I don't think he's a good egg at all, frankly, Brenton.
Why? He offered him a cigarette and then he said, I'll go get you cigars.
He's like, okay, yes, in that scene he's a good guy, but I was just angry at him when he didn't recognize like the man. It's like it wasn't like you went to like a pitch black room. You could clearly see the face.
They have that classic scene where they're like, I know you're from somewhere as well. And he's like, no, you don't. It's like, I do. And it's like, no, you don't. And it's like, I hate those scenes in movies, dude. It's like...
And it's like, come on.
It's so contrived. It's like, look, if they're gonna be there, either recognize them or like be like, I might know you from somewhere and walk away. Like, we don't need to have a scene where it's like, well, where do I know you from? And it's like, you don't know me. And it's like nothing is discovered. It's there just to attempt some level of tension, which is just hilarious because like, he did recognize him, the film would be over. It'd be like roll credits, call the police.
Yeah,
done.
And then that's exactly what should have happened, but he didn't. And instead, because he was great on the train, but then he's like, oh, I want to stay an extra night in LA. You know, I want to see a therapist, but all expenses. Like, you know, it's like it's really like John from like from Jurassic Park. It's like spare no expense. Where it's like, it's so stupid. I was like, no, I'm not a fan of you.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought up Jurassic Park because I've been having like cravings to watch that movie again.
Oh, really?
I've been having like intense hemorrhages because I just want to see like Jurassic Park again recently. I don't know why. I don't know why it's been happening, but just recently it's... Oof.
Mate, watch Jurassic Park. It's a good time.
I just want to get into it. And you guys should really listen to that episode. You know what I mean?
It's an early episode, but like give it a listen. It's a great time, you know?
Get into it, guys. Classic movie banter. Hashtag, you know, all the good stuff. Yeah.
Early episodes, I love it. Brenton, can I talk about one of my favorite scenes in this whole movie?
No, but continue anyway.
Moving on then. So my favorite, I think it's actually might be my favorite scene. It was when like suicide was first like proposed as like an option for death, and it's before the widow rocks up. And then like the boss of like the insurance salesman goes on this like 3-minute monologue about suicides. And he's like so proud. He knows all these statistics about suicide. And you could tell at the end of it, like on set when he paused, he finished his monologue and waited for a round of applause. And then probably improvised by grabbing the water and then probably spilling it on himself as he sips it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Like if this was a stage show, if this was a play, you could tell he would do that exact same monologue, and then he'd finish it going, "I've seen it on planes and trains, but off a bloody train, it would never happen." And then he'd finish, and you could tell the audience would fucking kick in with their applause. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kicked him with the applause, and I was just watching it, like, you know,
just present it as loud, just like,
you, yeah, suicide.
Oh, they should form a squad. But you know what I mean? Like he was way too passionate about it. Like
I know exactly what you mean. But like it's funny that this guy from the insurance company, like I kind of bought that he'd have like all like because what we learn about this character and what we know about this character is that he is kind of crummy in that sense, and he knows all these random shit. You know what I mean? He's all about the statistics. This guy would, and I like that. I like that logic.
You're a numbers
about
man.
Someone you know. Oh, you know me. I like my numbers. 7's my favorite.
Cool story, man.
Let's talk about the climax of this movie because that was like a great scene.
What a twist! I generally didn't see it coming. I was surprised.
What? That they shot each other? They mortally wounded each other?
No. That she was playing him. That she.
I knew that was coming, dude. I was like, you foxy aristocratic fox. You're gonna do him in, and then they did each other in, and I don't mean like sexually. I mean like. They.
What mood are you in today, mate? You're all over the shop today. I don't know what's going on,
mate. I'm trying to have a fun episode. I went into this episode and I had a goal. I was like, today's gonna be a fun time, and we've just gone off the rails, kind of like that attempted suicide off the back of the train. We're just on the rails, rolling away.
What is going on? Where are we? What are we doing here? You know why? I think it's because Brenton's. We're recording tonight before you've had dinner. Like, I think that's right.
I think I'm just hungry.
I think you're just hungry, man. I think you're getting fucking delirious. That's why, like, you know what? I think it's like that scene where he got shot by the girl, and he's like, "Ha, you missed," and she doesn't shoot again. Like,
mate, because you know why she doesn't shoot again? Because she loves him. She was like, "This is the first moment I've actually liked you."
Yeah, what a weird thing to reveal, like, moments.
I loved that line, though. That whole scene, I really got amongst. Though, the only bit I didn't get amongst is, like, he's like, "I'm gonna fucking do you in. I can get away with this shit, and I'm just gonna tell you about it." It's like, all right, dude. I hate how people do that, but it's like, you know, I can deal with that, you know? And he's letting her know his whole plan, and then she goes, "Go do this thing," and he's like, "All right, I'll turn my back on you." And of course she shoots him.
Yeah.
Of course she shoots him.
I mean, we see the gun as
dickhead.
well, but, like... You know, before that scene.
I know.
But it's like of course, like, what did you think was going to happen? It's like he's such an idiot.
It's such a dramatic moment, though. I love it.
But Game of Thrones spoilers as well. Did it remind you of, like, Jon and Daenerys when, like, he shot her and she, like, died in his arms?
No, not at all, really. But now you say it. But he's not really putting her down because he, like, loves her. He's like fucking over with it, and he's like,
actually, yeah, true.
She shoots him, and then she's like, "Oh, I just realized I loved you because you're like as scummy as I am." And he's like,
"There's a bullet in my arm."
Yeah, so I'm gonna put you down for moral reasons. So I guess maybe, but it doesn't really break him up. He's just kind of like, I feel like he goes delirious from blood loss, and he like wanders back and he gives his confession, and then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go to Mexico," and Keys is like,
No, you're not.
Dude, no, you're not. But dude, that last scene is great as well. That
what
last
an
scene
ending.
is so good.
It's really amazing.
When he wanders out and then he just collapses from his blood loss and he's like, I got the ambulance coming. And we'll talk about it in our special segments, but there's a line there that I just really love.
Oh, excellent.
And then they have that moment where he's like, I love you, and he lights the match and he gives it to him, lights his cigarette, and we just fade to black, dude.
Oh, that's something we haven't talked about. How fucking awesome are the way that he lights matches in this movie?
Oh, dude, the flick of the finger, the flick of the thumb.
How do you do that? I've never seen anyone in real life do that.
Oh, well, shall we practice?
Yeah, could you do it?
I don't know. I'd like to try.
I've never seen that before. It's so cool and so badass. How it just like flicks it and it lights in the go. And it's a huge flame on the match.
Yeah.
And he holds it. Like, he looks like, I am so against smoking, but I am so for that. Like, just give me a box of matches. I'll do that shit daily. Just like, that looks so cool.
Mate, yeah, I'm down. I'm down for that. Let's just go through a box of matches a day. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to light anything. We're just going to sit there.
Not a pack of cigarettes, just a box of matches. Like, I've gone through 5 packs a day, and everyone's like,
Mate,
oh my God.
Let's actually start a podcast for pyromaniacs and do that. How does that sound?
Let's light movies on fire that we don't like. Oh, jeez. But I brought up the ending because I wanted to ask you what you thought happened after it. Because it's kind of ambiguous if he dies or if he lives for the ambulance.
I kind of think he dies. I think he dies before the ambulance gets there.
I mean, I hope he dies. I kind of want him to die because it'd be poetic. Because it'd be great because they both die. So they it's like they end up like Wuthering Heights. I kind of end up in heaven together and all that.
But at the same time, I don't really care what happens after the end of it because the movie's over. You know,
it's like Brendan. We think about this sometimes. We thought about it with bloody Big. If we can think about it with Big, we can think about it with this.
I mean, sometimes I think about it, but other times I'm like, no, I like that ending. That was good. I think he's dead. Yeah, I think he just kind of fades away. Maybe that's why it fades to black and says the end, because he's dead.
Oh.
Nathan, what fun we've had so far in the show.
We've had some fun. You probably more than most, Brenton. You can't see this now, listeners, but Brenton's got that same morning hat that she does in the movie. And he's just been like a cat with a ball of yarn.
Yeah, I've just rolled that veil down like my face.
Just like
in the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's the death of this episode, Brenton. Like it's like, oh no.
It's gone. And it's never coming back. So should we get into some special segments? Special segment.
Ooh, so special. Brenton, what's your favorite line in this movie?
I'm going to quote it right now. Walter Neff says, "Know why you couldn't figure this one, Keys? I'll tell you. Because the guy you were looking for was too close. Right across the desk from you." Barton Keys says back to Walter Neff, "Closer than that, Walter." Oh, what a good line.
And he's like, closer than that, and he like points to him. He's like, "It was this little guy here."
Oh man, it's so good. I just love that line. It's such a good line. I was like, I really like that character throughout this film
because he like offers a job promotion as well, and you're like, you can tell he's like a father figure.
Yeah,
yeah. Which is also weird because he offers the job promotion, but there's a pay cut.
Yeah,
and I'm like, of course he says no. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well. But I just thought it was a good line. What?
That was a great line.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I didn't write it, by the way. That was actually Billy Wilder that wrote that. But
I see you now. I hear you. I mean, there's lots of good lines on this. I think it'd be something. It'd be something from like the suicide monologue or something like that. Like I think every time he says baby, I think just the word baby was my favorite line of this movie.
It's a pretty good choice. You know, pretty consistent throughout the film in its scenes.
I like to give a consistent Brent.
My favorite one when he says baby is when he picks up the phone that time and he's like, "Hey baby."
Yeah. Like yeah, it's so direct as well. It's like bless. It's like, oh, I'm gonna hide you behind a door now. It's like, oh. Tell you what though, the tension was good, wasn't it?
The tension was good.
It was good, Brenton. When that car didn't start, I held my breath.
Yeah. That was
my favorite line. The look of shock on their face.
But Nathan, there's a lot of good moments in this film that were all captured on film. Which leads us into our next segment, which is what stills this movie.
Ooh, it's blinding.
Tell you what, this was a beautifully shot movie.
Oh, it was fantastic. Composition was off the charts. It was great.
It was amazing. Like, and it's weird this won no Oscars. Like, it should have won all the Oscars, and yet.
Hey, I've actually got a quick fact about that because you brought it up. So well done. I'm going to drop it in because like I have my little factsy ready to go if it comes up in conversation.
Does it involve a foot?
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
So it involves the Oscars, actually. So the film was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, but lost out to Going My Way, which was released the same year. And Billy Wilder was so seriously annoyed at Leo McCarey's sweep that when McCarey's name was called for Best Director, Wilder stuck out his foot onto the aisle and tripped him.
Ah! There you go.
I think there's also a story of him like leaving the Oscars, and before he got in the car or the limo or whatever it was, he yelled out, basically, what the hell are the Academy Awards for anyway? Basically, like, what's the point of this shit?
He's
Like,
so salty about it. Like,
he was so salty. But could you imagine in today's ceremony, like, I don't know,
if someone tripped.
Mahershala Ali like wins like Best Supporting Actor, and some person like that was in the same category just like puts out a foot and like trips them over.
Oh
Like,
my God.
could you imagine?
That would be amazing. I am all for that. I think there should just be more tripping at the Oscars. They're too polished, you know. I think they should literally like fight to get to the stage. Like they get up.
Brad Pitt like walks down to get his Best Supporting Actor nomination, and Tom Hanks just like sticks out the foot.
He just he just tackles him to the ground, and it's like,
Yeah,
and like,
yes.
and if Tom Hanks wins, he gets the Oscar. So it's like a last minute kind of like, it's like the snitch.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Quidditch
Yeah.
match goes on, but if you get the snitch, you win.
Hang on a sec, but that doesn't work because when La La Land, they won the Oscar and they grabbed the Oscar, they had the Oscar, but then Moonlight got up. Oh no, because they got up.
Because they got up. And they
got up.
This works, man.
They did something about it. I see. Okay, good to know.
We have precedent. This is the new rule.
What you're saying is I'm not nominated, but if I can get hired as a seat filler at the Oscars next year,
Yes.
I could run up and win Best Actor.
I want you to recreate the scene from World War Z, where it's like just piles of bodies, like just on top of me, like climbing a wall, like all of that, just trying to get to the Oscar. And poor, like, I don't know, like poor Meryl Streep is standing on stage holding the Oscar for the winner, and like and this army of people just come towards her trying to fight over it. She's clutching onto it for dear life.
She's already got a few. It's all good.
Yeah, she'll be like, I can die in this moment. Like dying at the Academy Awards, what a way to go.
Nathan, what could possibly go wrong?
I don't know.
Don't answer that on second thought. Nathan, tell me what stills this movie.
Okay, so this is the frame we choose in the podcast that's either very funny or very beautiful. It's normally the former. And it is very funny because because there's a frame where like he's drinking his beer in his car, and the car has like a thing that folds out where you can put the tray and the beer.
No. Yeah, so basically, like, the drive-ins had these trays.
Yeah.
And they just attach it to your window. So you just, like, that just attaches to the window.
Why doesn't this exist today? I mean, you have cup holders, obviously, but like...
What? Because watch Michael Keaton in The Founder. It's because they were like, oh, it's so stupid. Like, you just eat it out of the paper. Like, you go to McDonald's and you, like, get your burger and you unwrap it. So you're not having all this unnecessary shit of putting a tray there.
Mate.
And it getting knocked off the window. I mean, like, I like it. I see the fun in this. You know, if I went to a drive-in cinema or something and like, you know, I was sitting there in my car, you know, ready to watch, I don't know, what's a film that I'm watching at the drive-in, Nathan?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly. And they come over and they put my little popcorn and stuff on the tray. I'd like that. I'd get amongst it.
Get around it. I kind of like the idea that it's kind of stuck there. Like, I'd kind of like it if he couldn't take it off. So, like, as he's driving down the motorway, like the food's, like, flying off the tray, like, at, like, 60 miles an hour, like...
I feel like this is something that, like, Tesla would do. You know what I mean? Like, they'd have
this is something that Elon would do.
They'd like, Elon, like, designed something. So, basically, like, you wind, like, you know, like, you wind down your window, but, like, obviously you press the button and then you press another button in your Tesla, and then like maybe the pane of glass that is your window like folds in half and creates like a little tray. Oh damn! Oh, hire me, Elon.
Cool.
Hire me, Elon. Come on, let's go. Let's do it.
Brent's an engineer. It works well. I think it's cool. I mean, you've eaten a burger in a car before. Shit gets everywhere. Fucking food spills and all that kind of shit outside the car. Clean as anything.
Nathan, I don't spill a good burger.
Oh, you know, like the odd leaf or like the burger or something like that.
No, I don't let that happen.
All right, fine. Well, you know what? You know what's great about it being outside as well? It doesn't stink up the car. If the food's sitting on the outside tray, no scent. You're not going to have your car smelling like burgers.
That is true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Go. You know what I love as well about this still? God bless the restraint of the producers to not have a label on that beer facing the camera.
God bless them. Literally, please, God.
Please, God. Bless them.
Bless those producers.
For not endorsing that sponsorship. Put Krispy Kreme, apparently it works.
Let's look at this film's poster.
Banter.
Yes.
Let's look at this film's poster.
But is it art? I gotta say, this is a good poster.
This is, mate, I love the pink. It's this...
There's one thing that stands out that probably shouldn't be on the poster.
Is it the boss? Is it him looking at the two macking out?
It's Keys. Look, I get that he's like, you know, you're paying this guy and he's one of your build stars in this, but the fact that he's like kind of like casually looking in on this moment between
What's
the
that
two
expression?
It's kind of weird.
It's so fucking... So our poster... So for new listeners, our posters can be found on Instagram and YouTube. And like... And it's the two... It's like the main couple on the left half of the poster kind of macking out. And he's on the gun, which kind of gives away some shit. Even though he actually doesn't shoot anyone in this movie, but like, anyway.
He does.
Oh, yeah, her. Oh, well, that gives shit away. There you go. So there's that to deal with. But then on the right, it's like a weird kind of like headshot of just like the boss.
He's just casually checking in on what's going on. He's like,
He looks really disgusted at what he's looking at.
He's like, I don't even know if it's disgust. I think it's just kind of like he's indifferent about it. You know what I mean? He's just...
It's just, I don't know what's going on.
He's just kind of hanging out. He's like, oh, who knew?
Yeah. It's like I just don't understand. I like everything else.
Anyway, so yeah, I like it everything else. From the moment they met, it was murder.
Murder.
God.
Ooh.
Why is there a capital? Why are there two? Like, I get that it's like, you got two M's, like moment and murder, but why are they both got capital letters on the M's?
Because they dialed M for murder.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a shitty Hitchcock joke. It's really weird that Hitchcock didn't make this, because it feels like such a thing that Hitchcock would make.
I was going into it and I thought it was one of his films. Like, and then I was like, oh wait, it's not. Like opening credits, I was like, oh wait, it's not. Oh good.
No. Tell you what, after seeing, because I love Some Like a Hot. So after seeing Some Like a Hot...
Really? I've never heard you talk about it before.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah. And you know why? Because if you bloody saw it with Marilyn Monroe, you would be bloody shouting to the hills as well.
All right, okay.
I guess she's pretty. I tell you what though, after seeing these two films now, I am so sold on this man's filmography. I want to go through the whole fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Put your money where your mouth is.
All right, mate. Let's bloody stroll down Sunset Boulevard.
Put a $50 bill in your mouth right now, and let's do it.
Oh, I gotta grab my wallet first, Brenton. Can I put in these AirPods I've got?
On that note, let's pass the power to the people.
Pass it here.
What?
The power to the people.
So, for those of you who don't know, Double Indemnity has a critical consensus on the tomato meter of 97%, with an audience score of 95%. It's pretty high.
Oh boy, is it liked.
Oh yeah. It was also liked by TV Guide,
Whoa.
who gave it a fresh score. Both a starkly realistic and a carefully stylized masterpiece of murder.
5 out of 5. It is.
Just say masterpiece. You don't have to say masterpiece of murder, because like no, it's a film. It's fiction. Like no
also,
one was
not
actually
that much murder. There's maybe like two murders.
But no one was actually murdered. Like, both a starkly realistic and a carefully stylized masterpiece of murder would be like, oh, hey...
I mean, the husband was murdered. There was that whole sequence where he got murdered.
Hang on, let me say, it's a masterpiece of murder, it's referring to it as. It's not a masterpiece of film. Say it's a masterpiece of murder. So, like, you'd say that about, like, I don't know, some serial killer as opposed to, like, a film in which a plot happens.
Yeah.
So, it's a weird sentence, is my point.
You'd be like the Manson murders. That's a masterpiece of murder or something like that. You wouldn't say the film itself.
Yeah, but in saying that it's a masterpiece of murder means you're a bit of a sicko as well. So TV
you're
Guide,
like, oh wow, look at the murder in this one.
Okay, we've lost 2 endorsements in this one episode. Fuck you, Krispy Kreme, and fuck you, TV Guide.
Brenton, you're killing all this sponsorship. We got to get money somehow.
Nah, I've got too high a moral virtue. You know what I mean? Like I can't sink that low.
Oh my god! Next time Brenton comes to my house, I swear to God, I'm gonna have food ready. I'm gonna make sure you're well fed.
I thought you were kind of enjoying this. Are you not?
I'm enjoying this, Brenton, but there's always
but our listeners probably aren't. Okay.
And I enjoy anything, Brenton. So there's a certain degree of it, such as but you know what who didn't enjoy this film, Brenton? It was Bosley Crowther from the New York Times.
Not Bosley.
And look at his expression in like his photo as well. He's not happy at all.
Poor Bosley.
Such folks delight in murder stories for their academic elegance alone, should find this one steadily diverting, despite its monotonous pace and length.
Bosley, I find the name Bosley monotonous, so that's...
There goes the Bosley sponsorship.
Yeah, there he goes. No, but like, I don't know. Like, I think that this film is, like, I agree that there's moments in it that, going into that third act, I kind of want to get there quicker.
Yeah.
But it's well under 2 hours, this film.
Yeah, it's
not
short.
lengthy.
It could have been much longer. Christ, Chinatown was a slog. Am I right?
Sahil G gives it 5 stars. Whoa, that's a big score. And he says, wow! ! First black and white movie in a while, and it was... What? First black and white movie in a while, and it was fantastic. Oh gosh, look, Sahil, this film came out in 1944.
I think what he's saying...
Color wasn't even fucking invented. What do you want about?
I think what he's saying is that for him, it's been a while since he's seen a black and white movie.
I've just got no... Like, I'm just done. Though it starts off a bit slow, as the pieces come into play, this drama quickly becomes an interesting thriller and mystery on who will win. Ellipses. the insurance company or the lovers?
Who did win, Brenton? Was it the...
No one won.
No one did win, did they? I don't know why
no
you put
one
that
won
there.
in this movie. Actually, no. The boss won. The head of the insurance company won because
the suicide guy.
Actually, no, but he didn't. He doesn't win because even though he doesn't have to pay out the double indemnity for that specific case, he's still gonna have a fucking that firm is probably gonna close because one of their members murdered someone.
That's true. Actually,
one of their employees murdered someone. So actually, he's worse
to
off
exploit their own company.
He's worse off than would he if he had just paid off the double indemnity. Oh,
Yeah.
Sahil, you're actually bringing up some interesting conversation.
There we go.
mate. I take it back.
Brenton 180
Thanks
it.
for
Well done.
Yeah.
Tofka SO1 wrote on YouTube, and the funny thing, this blonde wig is really working on a black and white film. On a coloured film, it would look totally stupid.
I disagree because the wig looks totally stupid. And actually, this is a fact, Billy Wilder, wanted that wig and everyone was telling him it looked like absolute shit. And it wasn't I think he was a few weeks into production and he was like, oh yeah, it really does look like shit.
Oh no.
And so they then couldn't remove the wig. And so he then had to change his tune and be like, oh yeah, it's meant to look bad, which is what he'd answer in the publicity and the interviews for it.
Wow.
No, it looks terrible.
It's
a
is
bad
horrendous.
looking wig.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's also obviously a wig as well. It's so obviously a wig.
It's really bad. It's so bad. Spartaculus Jones. How would you say that? Would you call that Spartaculus Jones?
Spartaculus Jones. What are these names?
I don't know. One Hollywood historian once said, Barbara Stanwyck is more sexy with her clothes on than most other starlets are with theirs off. Nathan, why was this included on the show notes?
I just found it really funny that someone legitimately wrote that.
That someone called Spartaculus Jones. I literally have nothing to say to that. I don't
It's so creepy.
One Hollywood historian. Who?
It's you, mate. You just bloody saying that. It's oh, some famous guy said this.
Are you trying to just give some ethos to your fucking opinion? Settle
I'm
down
pretty
there,
sure
mate.
a guy who's called fucking Spartaculus Jones is definitely trying to add some ethos to his own sentences.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, good times.
David Govett, he wrote on, he's the last of them. He said, if the two characters are friends, then why does one call each other by his surname? Well, for the boss and the insurance guy. And he's got a point.
Nathan, do people ever reference you by your surname when you're out and about, friends or anyone?
Maybe two people that I would call friends. That's...
Yeah.
Sorry, that sounded really backhanded. Probably two friends of mine do it casually, but even then, it's discouraged.
Yeah, I don't know. Not many.
Did
people
you?
Really
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call you by your last name.
No one really does that to me.
No, but I do have friends I do call by their surname. But at the same time, if you're very close to someone, I think first names would. I think it's the better thing to do.
It depends on the surname. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bosley Crowther. I'm not going to reference him as Bosley because that's a vomit-inducing name. But I just call him.
Yeah, or especially if you're Australian. Normally people go for the surname then add a Y on the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Glavesy or
or Smithy.
Yeah, Smith. Hey, Smithy, there he is.
Yeah. Guys, that was another episode of Classic Movie Banter.
Maybe it was. It was an episode of something, wasn't it, Brenton?
It certainly was. Guys, if you want to get more of this, then you can obviously listen to many of our other reviews. And you can also...
We've got over 100 of this shit.
you can also find us on the Twitter sphere. You can find us on the Instagrammy. You can find us on YouTube-alacious. And you can even check out our email spectacular. Guys, please continue the conversation. Tell us what you thought of Double Indemnity and what you thought of this episode. And if you'd like to see more of this, or go back to our usual format. It depends.
Oh.
We really do listen to you guys, and we appreciate you guys, and we love you guys a lot.
Yeah, and obviously you must love us if you stick around every week. So bless you. Thank you so much.
Especially this week's. Good on you guys.
Oh, what a struggle.
We appreciate it greatly.
Well, make sure you tune in as well. Make sure you really tune in next week because next week is a very special episode because it's Mother's Day next week.
Oh yes.
So we got a fun thing planned. So if you're going to listen to any of these, listen to the Mother's Day one. It's going to be very fun next week.
It's going to be a great time. Can't wait for it, Nathan.
Well, Brenton, you need to get the fuck out of here. I don't know what's going on, but go get some Indian.